to another wonderful episode of our 𝐇𝐎𝐿 podcast, where we share our own 𝐇𝐎𝐿 on any given topic. Today we are going to dive in on an interesting topic, and this topic obviously directly relates or affects some of us and many Nigerians. In a society where we have about 133 million people multi-dimensionally poor, you can actually imagine what kind of topic we are discussing today. We are talking about black tax. I believe you probably in one way or the other have been affected, and just as my colleague said, maybe you've been affected or being a beneficiary of black tax.
Why you say affected as if it's a disease?
You never can tell. But of course, just as you heard, I'm not having this conversation alone. I have some amazing people here in the studio with me. Let me start from the first lady in the house.
Yeah.
Jam of the whole universe. How you doing?
One and only. I'm good.
You're looking good as usual.
Thank you. I'm
What's the
always looking
secret?
good. Na God.
I thought everybody said that the economy is that bad.
It's bad, but
So what happened?
we don't look like our problems.
Word.
I can't carry it on my forehead.
So how you doing, Idris?
I'm fine.
There's this way you introduce yourself that kind of give me this vibe. So Kule, how you doing?
I'm very good.
So today we are talking about black tax.
Yeah.
So obviously you know what the meaning of black tax.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, we are just literally talking about those people, those urgent 2K that sometimes they will call you that your mom has swallowed shovel, that you need to pay money to take it out, or sometimes your sister needed money for something. Basically, we are talking about one way indirectly where family members kind of one way or the other tax you and all that. So I'm going to start with Jam first. Because you are the first lady, and they used to say ladies first. Have you ever in any way experienced black tax?
Let me.
Why are you stammering? Have you experienced black tax or not?
I am a black taxer and a black taxi.
I think that needs an explanation. What does that mean?
I have taxed people and I've been taxed.
Okay.
So it's two-way.
No, do you see it as a burden to you? Like when people call you now, you've done it in the past. Now people call you.
I don't see it as a burden actually.
It's fun for you.
Especially if, in fact, For me, I feel kind of bad when I don't have enough to give when I am taxed by family members. The issue about black tax is, will I say it's an African thing, not even Nigeria this time around. It's an African thing. We have this communal spirit. We have this collective responsibility. We as Africans or Nigerians will say that it takes a community to raise a child, whether financially or physically.
Really?
Okay, yes.
I was raised by my mother and father.
Do you know the way
Sorry.
you're even talking? I'm already feeling this even under the AC, because talking about black tax kind of gives some people this mental struggle. And I'm going to come to Idris because
that is about experience, really. Because if you look at the clip from 𝐓𝐾𝐿,
okay,
you could see from his perception that it was deep.
Right.
For him, yeah, he got to the point where there was blackmail.
Someone said something that if you're not feeling it, the pain, maybe because you're not successful enough.
You see what I'm saying?
But daily
But
more.
of course,
I'm not saying you're not successful
if you're
enough.
not feeling the pain, you're not successful
I'm
enough.
not successful
𝐓𝐾𝐿 is
I am not
successful
successful
enough.
Maybe that's why he's feeling
I'm
the
not
pressure.
mincing
Tell us
words.
about your pressure. Do you feel like, because you have younger ones, do you feel like this young man making it in life,
He said that
younger making it?
he said that his mom and dad raised him. So
Actually, he's talking about my sibling now. My sibling, like how will I say it? My sibling's responsibility. Let me put it this way. It's a black tax that I am always eager to carry. Okay. The one that I detest so much is a black tax from people who you are in no way related to, or maybe because you once played football with them in one place or the other at one point when you are like 5 years old, and they feel entitled to the little money that you are earning. You see, I cannot go to my area, the area I grew up. I cannot go there right now. If I go there,
in fact, you can even go now, but when they see you like this, they're like,
exactly.
Idris has entered TV.
Of course, you are. I want to go somewhere. I don't need to dress down because I don't want to be. I don't need to dressing down because I don't want to be.
If I of course you have to do that. Are you saying that the tax that comes in, the pressure that comes in from your siblings, it's practically fine?
Yeah.
You're okay with it?
Yeah, because of course we're given birth to we're born by the same parents. And my parent did my parents literally lifted me up and dumped me where I am today. So I feel it's something that is not even it is something that is proper, something that is culturally accepted, something that it's a burden that I'm willing to carry.
Let me
for the rest
ask
of my life.
for context. If that burden, I don't want to call it a burden per se. I think, like I said, it's about experience. It's when it gets to that point where it is choking. then you can. I feel like it should be some sort of burden. But if that's
Can't be burden to
For that, so from the angle that is coming from, have you ever had that reason to experience a burden, your pressure from being taxed by family members,
especially as young Nigerian? I was about to say lazy Nigerian.
Especially as people young and making it.
Like you yourself in the process of the information process.
Like when you are making it, when you are coming up, people see your progress. People wants to get a piece of you, right? From family.
When you say a piece of you, of course, my mind just. I have a very dirty mind. So
Okay, but this is black tax. Okay. So people wants to get that piece of you, and you, of course, you're obligated to give some people, like Idris said, your siblings, your friends that calls you, Baba, she I see 5K for there. And this guy, if you call him next week, say Baba, she me self see 5K for there. So I feel like it goes around, but there are some that feels like burden, right? So say I'm planning my life. I'm a bachelor. I'm looking to get my life set, and there's this tax from someone I've not spoken with for maybe over 10 years, billing me maybe 500K to start a business, or from a family member who calls regularly to ask for money. Say, can I see 10K? Can I see 20K? Without adding, no value, no calling to say, hi bro, she your day they go well, she your week, So these are kind of black tax that I feel like can cause burden on a young smart life.
Now you couldn't said something very interesting, and I think it's coming from also a place from when people assume you have something that you don't have, and they come with a responsibility. So how do you feel in a day, let's say in a particular day, and then your mom calls you for money, your sister called you for money, that same day, have you ever had an experience whereby in 1 week, people are just calling you, and then you're just struggling, drinking garri in your house. They don't know what you're going through.
I feel like we're even caging it. Is it just your immediate family?
No, it's everywhere. It's family and maybe extended family. Okay, so for me to answer your question straight, I just think it's priority and communication. Right? So if my mom calls me and I don't have Singbai, I'll tell her I don't have money on me. Can we do Wednesday? Can we do Friday? If my sister calls me, I'll send her a text. Can we do Friday? Can we do next week? If someone that we are not really, really close, but at the same time, I feel like this person is responsible. If I, just thinking that way, I'll have to communicate and say, please, let's get back. Let me get back to you this time. But apart from that, it's not necessarily a burden. But when communication is out of it, and these people are piling it up, and they are calling you, and you're not communicating, you're not setting priorities right, then it becomes a burden. Then I've heard of cases where people are unable to communicate, and the little they have said they are earning 100K, right? They give to mom, they pay school fees, they give to girlfriend. At the end of the day, they are on hunger strike, so it affects them, affects their work, affects their productivity, right? Then they start saying devil is after them. So I just
it becomes a spiritual problem.
It becomes a spiritual problem. So I just feel like it's priority. If you can set it right, if you can communicate, tell your mom, but I will buzz you later. I feel they understand. But we don't come from different. We come from different. Some parents depend solely on their kids, on their kid who's in maybe Lagos or in Abuja or elsewhere. So if the lady or the man is not sending money home, there will be problem home.
Good. So do you believe, maybe you and Dana can answer that question, that your family history has a way of influencing you with black tax?
Definitely.
How
do you think $10? Do you think $10? Of course, he would also. Now that is where status come in, right? But of course, if you are from a family where everybody's established to an extent, the pressure would not be that.
But you can't be from a family where everybody is established. There will always be.
There will always be
to
a larger. That's why I'm saying
finger.
that it would go beyond your immediate family. You have cousins. You have your sister's mother's child. You have your uncle's brother's nephew. It goes on and on like that. And if you are from a family where you have a good relationship with members of your extended family, you rapport on a normal. Sometimes you leave home and then go elsewhere, and you don't keep in touch with them. It's not be easy for they might not even have your number. But if you are in that situation where you are talking to your cousin, you're talking to your nephew, you're talking to this guy and that guy, it is very easy for them to come to you and say, okay, they said I should go and buy paracetamol for my child, and I have to.
I want to put in something. Have you ever been called to to cater for a wedding.
Ah,
Not contribute for a wedding.
a whole.
To cater for a wedding. Say
What you mean cater
like take the
Wedding
responsibility.
of a whole wedding.
Yeah, so as a bachelor, I want to
Sponsor
get
and entire
sponsor. That's the word. Sponsor and
Wow.
entire
How
You've
much-
been called to sponsor an entire wedding.
How
No, I've not been called. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
how
but
much? How much is in my account?
you see the way you're glowing.
What do you mean? It's the light.
Sparkle.
It's the light.
But look at it from this angle of an average Nigerian.
Mm-hmm.
You're a young man trying to make life out of nothing. You're literally starting from nothing, right? And then you're starting up with an 100K salary. You have younger ones. Because it's easy to say you don't feel pressure, but you don't have plans, you don't have savings. No, I have
Savings.
I have a feeling that you go up to stay at the top, you don't jump. If you start taking responsibility at an early stage, when you cannot, you will not go for
You know
yourself.
that thing about
Now,
you need money to make money.
Yeah. So someone once told me that there's a point in your life where you need to cut off from the family so that you can save the family. Because if you keep giving, you will not go. And at points at 30, they will tell you that you cannot move out of the house.
Exactly.
Imagine when you save enough, move out, be able to struggle for yourself and sort yourself out, then you come back to save the family, right? That now gives you an idea of like, and when that period you're doing that, you're going to have a lot of hatred. People will feel like this person have abandoned the family. But then look at you now as a young man. You are probably in your late 30s, right? You're looking forward to getting an apartment. You know the cost of that in Lagos. How much is your salary, by the way? With the nonsense standard, they say that if 3 months cannot pay it, don't buy it.
Like if you know it doesn't stand.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes these principles or this standard doesn't go for everybody. Now,
Yeah.
look at you now. You're a young man, Idris, and then your sister has school fees. She's calling for school fees. If you're someone that is responsible, you feel hard for not being able to help.
Exactly.
So
That's
how
exactly
did
the way,
that black tax itself affect your savings? Sometimes maybe you don't even care about saving, or you don't have there's this futuristic plan. You know why you don't have plan for people who use your money for me.
Yeah, exactly.
So what do you do with that? Do you feel like it affects your savings ability?
Definitely it does. It does. It helps. It affects your saving. It affects your planning. Like you said, it affects it affects your growth as a person ultimately. Because where your mates or people, your mates are getting things done.
investing.
Yes. When your mates that you guys graduated from the same school at the same time, they are not burdened down by black tax. They are doing this, they are doing that. But the same money, you are earning the same salary. They are able to do this, they are able to do that. But you are cutting part of your salary to settle this. And of course, like I said, it's a happy burden that you are willing to carry, but of course, it is burden.
You can't
that is
shy away from
affecting-
the fact
and
that
you feel like
it gives you.
I'm in a position in my life right now that I feel like there are some things that I have planned for myself, or I just have to put it at the back burner for now because
Sorry, Tam. From you, this might sound sexist in a beat, right? Where they say guys are the ones spending the money. Like in the sense that every society feels like a guy always spend the money. There's one
the ladies are
lady.
receiving-
That's why I did not obviously date her. She was telling me that it is her right to receive call. My own right is to be calling. That's why I knew that one will not go far in life. But then I'm asking you, as a young guy wanting
You're not
to,
nice.
you're trying to see. There are certain things that if you don't do when your mates are doing it, at an
You will lose
earlier
out.
age, you start doing it. That's why they say you are being childish. That's where childishness comes in. So at 30, you want to go and be exploring some things that you should have
That's
left.
when you just have money to go and
To start doing
bounce
some certain
or to,
things.
yeah.
Now, I'm asking you now, you're trying to consider family. Family is everything, but you understand that you're working we are all working in the same company, and then we are, let's say, the same age, but we have different problem at home. But then we're hanging out.
And
We are
problem
clubbing
really
at
finish.
a particular stage. We're supposed to club. You're supposed to go, for those that club though. Christian like us, we just stay in the house. But then you know what I mean? That you don't
A
hang out,
Christian
you
with
don't
a
buy
dirty mind.
clothes, you don't do anything because you're trying to sort family issue. You still jump bus at your age when you're supposed to be using Uber. Someone once told me
Or
that
riding your own car.
Someone once told me that whenever he wants to buy a burger for himself, he realized that this 6,000 naira will probably be okay to send to the mom, and he will end up sending to the mom. And I called the person one day, you
I
would die.
find myself.
Do you get? So
in
how
that
do you
situation.
find trying to meet up to your age standard and the things that you need to do to be okay for a babe to see you and actually admire you with your little salary in quote, and then still trying to do black tax?
See, for me, there are some things that are set on stone. They are written there on stone. They cannot be erased. So there are plans that I feel like I should, execute now, and I have plans towards them. So, and I already mentioned it's priority for me.
Okay.
I can call them and tell them for maybe from May to August, I'm not going to be sending anything back home because I'm trying to achieve this thing. They understand because I'm communicating. I'm showing them what I'm passing through and what I'm working towards, right? And also, I have to delve
That
into
AI check.
into family issues now. So it now depends on your family. So my dad has never asked me for money before. Occasionally, my mom calls, right? But if I tell her that it's not happening now, she'll figure herself out. Like, so they are not dependent on Kunle's money, right? They have their own
So
fund.
yours is like a side
Yeah,
thing.
it's just like receiving maybe the Yoruba thing of receiving from your son.
okay.
Right? So I have money.
Would that be considered black tax in the sense that I have every month I put my mom on the payroll, I have to send money. I'm talking about where you are the only one probably doing well in your family of 6.
Where it's almost dependent, like it's like
everybody
tax.
like
It's like
It's unfailingly. It's not like your mom is calling you. Okay, let's say once in 6 months. This one is like almost tax, like government. The way government remove
Yeah,
from
you know,
the salary.
Every month.
That's the thing.
You
I
have
can't relate to that. But when it comes to maybe friends or some other extended family members doing that to me, I can relate to that. But then I always let them know it can't work this way. I can't peg my plan for your emergency, your urgency should not be my own emergency. That's how they say it, right?
Word.
So from that perspective, I just feel like it's different from individuals to individuals. Some family puts you on chokehold. You are not getting out of it if you don't send money back home. So
it goes beyond family for me, even the extended one. It's about people you grow up with. It's not even friends per se. These are not friends. These are former
just
neighbors.
people from the hood.
Former neighbors, people who you don't even speak with, people who don't even greet you when you were nothing. Of course, you are not. It's not like you are something now, but
you're better than the way you
people don't even look at you. People now they see you. Maybe
Now they want to begin to
maybe you want to come and greet your mom
because-
in the wood. You came in.
You have to consider
You came in.
them.
You came in. Maybe you took boat and you just arrived and they see you are dropping for Toyota.
They'll be like, is that your
Yeah, you
driver?
better. And before you know, they are lining up on your
Doorstep.
and they are not aggressively begging you for money. Aggressively. I'm not saying just ordinary job.
you know people I pity pass, the politicians. That I know some of them are getting from tax and all. But have you seen their houses?
Yes.
Where people line up?
I have seen
line up and beg for money.
Like,
So
it might appear as
And
if
it comes
they
from a
have
place of
much.
entitlement.
Entitlement,
that
if you're not
supposed to
giving,
give me
if
this.
you're
And
not-
that's the reason sometimes when they are doing budgeting, they
Exactly,
have
they are
to
padding
consider this.
There was one local government chairman in my area. Early in the morning, once you leave the masjid and he's going home, you have like an assembly of clerics following home.
Like he's going to sort out.
Every single morning. He must sort them out. If he doesn't, before you know, there's this rumor going around that he's stingy. And these are
Yeah.
part of these are like
Sometimes
I
I
give
think where it even gets very bad is that people don't understand. So if you're starting out, once you graduate, your first job, you're earning 100,000 or even less. People just say you are working. And because you cannot begin to tell everybody how much you're earning, that is if they even believe you if you tell them. Sometimes we would look at open communication about our salary structure, if it pays or not. So if I tell people that this is what I'm earning, and I buy food, I pay my transportation, this is what is left. So I am still at that stage where I am struggling myself, and this is very the little I can part away with.
But looking at us working in the media space now, so they see your byline everywhere, they see your this thing on YouTube.
and now with this podcast.
Then
now,
you have an
tomorrow.
then you now have an international organization where you applied for a fellowship or something.
So there's this
And
assumption
then let's
of
even say it
wealth.
takes you beyond the Nigeria's shores, and they'll be like, he has even traveled out, he has dollars, or she has dollars, but then you can't drop. You understand? And sometimes you also have your own challenges that you cannot share exactly that you are going
and
through.
you're not supposed to share. I'm not supposed to be telling you that look, I have this, I have that. No, it's my money. I earned it.
I mean, I'm not supposed to come out and
Do you
I'm
even
a
feel
man of
guilty
modest
sometimes?
means.
Sometimes.
Who am I telling?
Why do you have to force me to the point that I will be telling you I have so at my account, I can't give
So
this, I can't give this.
there are some people you don't owe that explanation.
Mm.
There are some people that you feel like you need to maintain a relationship after.
Definitely.
Someone from my primary school, they saw me on Facebook and said that I should borrow him. No, not borrow, because he used like, boss, come give me 600K. And I like
600.
and I like, and I like, oh,
We just
600K. And I like,
sponsoring
I'm sorry, I don't have it at this time. You know, of course, you don't have it at this time. You might have it tomorrow. You know, he said I don't have it at this time. He said you don't get money. See your picture. He sent me my picture that you have seen on my Facebook wall.
Like
He said,
see yourself.
You know, I just felt like, and because it's someone that in my primary school.
Caveat for viewers. Victor actually has them. Yeah,
I have money, really. I have money. There's no way to deny
I
that
have a
part.
friend that will say you prophesy positivity into your life.
You can't be
But
on
I don't feel
podcast in Nigeria and not have money.
Please
Even
speak for
they do
yourself.
have money. See, you see those guys. Nadu is one of my guy. You know, he has money. So we all have money. So whether you like it or not. So you just pretend. No, there's this assumption people assume that people are earning much.
Yeah.
People are earning like above 200K. All of us are just faking it to make it. We are just, it's more like packaging. You know, when you're trying
you have
to.
money. It just depends on how
Victor,
much.
The part,
Victor,
see, the part
you
I
have
want-
money.
Of course, I have money, really. Now, it now depends on the kind of money you're talking about. I have money.
Okay,
If you
but in
sponsor-
that sense, we all have money.
Can you
You are-
sponsor a
Because we
wedding?
didn't work
Can you
here.
sponsor a
A
wedding?
wedding
sponsor
is
I am
a
married
wedding.
now, so I have money.
Sponsor my own wedding.
That's where I don't have money. But the angle I want to talk about is how do you now deal with communication? So I don't want to believe that it's at every point in time they come to you for money that you have. So how do you not deal with the communication? Kunle was able to especially tell you that I don't have it now. You know, your mom
depends
is
on
telling
who
you,
is asking.
your sister is telling you that if I don't raise 200K right now, they're going to chase me out of the
Adults.
house. You gave me an example right now before we come on. I don't know if you want to share that particular example. The example of where someone was making you feel like you are the Messiah. That without you, something cannot go
Everything
on.
is-
So now you are asking me for money that, so and so will not be released. So and so will not be released if you don't pay this exact amount. Let's say, okay, container.
Almost like you are being held to
Exactly.
ransom.
Okay, you need to clear goods and some goods.
You would
and,
lose them.
You are telling me that you need so amount to be able to clear them. And the way you are presenting it to me is like, oh, okay, I am like your last hope,
Do or die.
and I need to give you this money. I don't have the money. I said, okay. Right now, I'm not expecting this certain amount to give to anybody, even for myself, to claim my own goods.
Sometimes you don't even have
Even-
the
so,
money they are
then-
asking. Like
then-
you've never even had it.
then
Imagine
you-
someone coming to ask you to drop, say, 30 million. You know, where do I want to get that from? That's even an exaggeration. That's just for context sake. You know,
Yeah.
with the inflation and everything, and largely we see that what we have, the prevalence of black tax is influenced by our socioeconomic realities. Okay, so we have a society that a number of people are unemployed. When they say your take home cannot take you home, or what is it? And then you have a government that is not fulfilling the basic needs of the people. You have pension that cannot, you save your pension for years, and by that time with the devaluation of the naira,
You're not even being given your pension.
you're not even getting. So why won't you go back and then rely and call your child or your grandchild that
Please, I don't-
there are no our health insurance scheme is basically almost
Every
non-functional.
Nigeria is basically just one sickness
Away from
you know
poverty.
the interesting thing about you all don't seems to have issues with black tax as long to being as normal, right?
Actually, I
Yeah.
think it's just a contextual thing and the way people approach you or ask
That's-
for it. And yes, so if my siblings come and ask me, I cannot feel bad or guilty at all.
Good.
I can't feel bad or guilty at all, especially if I have. If I don't have, it depends on your relationship with who is also asking. Okay,
good.
yes. So I can tell them that okay, they know when I get my salary. So that's even a bad thing on its own because everybody is
Everybody
looking
come at
to
that particular point.
or a few
point
days
in
too, so
time.
that you can factor them
I
into.
actually
You
have
can
people who line
factorize.
up
their problem.
people who are not my family members. People who are like, the last time I saw them was when I was around 4 years old, when maybe because I went to go and do holiday in their,
Yeah.
not even their house.
Now let me
That
ask
food-
we
you.
did holiday together.
Let me ask
Is that
you,
food you
Idris.
ate then? It's time for you to
Yes,
pay back.
everybody.
now, do you feel like anyone can answer? Do you feel like you've been held back by those? Because look at it now, you're starting life with someone that don't even have issues with black tax.
Yeah.
His family. Do you feel like doing that is not making you get to the destination faster?
I think
Yes.
so. Yeah. It's
Yes.
clear. It's clear.
It might seem insignificant,
Yeah.
okay, but in the long run, if you add that 5K to that 10K to that 15K, compared to how much you're earning, there is a degree that it could even be an online course that could up your CV. You know that would.
a bottle in the club.
So
You know,
you
yeah.
mentioned
Maybe that's
that
where you will jam.
you mentioned something
Olore.
that you mentioned that you've experienced it before. Like you've been maybe how will I put it now? Someone
I've relied on
exactly
family
you
members.
benefited from
Yes,
from
I benefited from it.
Now some people are benefiting from you.
Yes.
Where would that end? Is there any system in place that will say that this my siblings, so I'm going to sort you guys out so that your children will not come back to me and be asking me for money?
I don't sort myself out. See that what I'm saying about this is where the economic reality comes in. If
the economy is good,
To answer that question, I think that's what me and my older brother are currently doing.
working towards to
you
make sure that
want to end that generational black taxing
siblings.
system.
And the three of our one brother and two sisters at the university, and we are making sure that they are getting everything that they need. Okay, yeah, it might stutter my own growth, but at the end of the day, by the time I'm in a position where I can now fly.
When Esther don't bleach.
Yeah, exactly. When Esther don't finally bleach, then I can fly without anything injuring me again. I feel like, okay, I've given you enough.
Yes, I've given you the opportunity to also fish. I've taught you to fish.
So in other words,
but if they still cannot
a
fish,
system to end it.
Exactly.
That is empowering them
I
to.
mean, talking about socioeconomic realities, right? That's one. Then we talked about government interventions. I still don't want us to forget about individual intervention. What you can do for yourself. I mean, now let's look past our siblings who are maybe have not grown to the age where they can
fend for themselves.
What about young men and young women who can work and earn for themselves, but
still dependent?
They're not earning enough to.
No, because they are not upskilling enough to earn more. But they are dependent on you who is also struggling, but has plans and skills to get that maybe enough than them. So what I'm actually saying in essence is maybe too many Nigerians, right? I can't say Africans now. Too many Nigerians are just don't get the point. They are not, maybe, I don't want to say lazy Nigerian youth, but there are skills you can get in 3 months that can get you a job that can pay you 50,000.
Someone will argue that is their job.
There are jobs. I feel like there are jobs. And when there are jobs, you can upskill, right? You can learn skills. It's not until you go to school, carpentry, digital marketing, graphic design, right? But you ask me, where do I get data, right? Where do I see these things? You can sort them out. That money where you borrow for November, where you never pay back before, don't use it and borrow. Buy tax, buy data rather. So what I'm just saying in essence is that
could it be that they are seeing somewhere they can collect, so there's no motivation?
So
there's no motivation to work. Some people, even if you step outside now, you see a man who has 2 legs and 2 hands still begging for money, and you why don't you go out there?
You know, nice said beggars never lack. Givers never lack. Beggars always ask.
Givers always lack.
If you don't manage
there was a
it.
poem I read while in school, homeless but not hopeless.
Homeless, not hopeless.
Yes, why they seems to fit into the society and they're a very important part of the society.
We are the beggars we are the last that take the last.
So even if exactly they kind of find a way to help. Now the conversation is quite an interesting one because I feel like everyone has different experiences as regards to this. But I'm going to round up the conversation by asking each and every one of us, if you could tell your 12 years old self about black tax, would you have actually, what question would you have posed to yourself for in terms of not being a burden to someone or trying to, how will I put it now, or trying to avoid black tax burden for yourself?
First thing I would tell my 12-year-old, I was very troublesome, particularly I would tell him to learn, understand, see what's going on around you. You don't necessarily need to buy things that you don't need and focus on your own personal growth. Because as a 12-year-old, of course, you are in your early thing. You don't know anything about anything. Just want to take that money, go to that video game center and just play game. Oh, okay, your friends are rocking this, your friends are rocking that. That's all you think about. But focus on your self-development. Read your book.
You sound like you're 12 years old. You started going to club. You sounded like that. Let's say you're 12 years old. What would you tell yourself as regards to black tax?
I mean, I can only talk from my reality.
Yeah.
I would say just focus on your education. Spend your daddy and mommy's money. Right?
Is it spend?
Learn skills, upskill yourself at 12. But just focus on your education. Spend your mama and papa money. That's
the beautiful part about when you hear from their 12 years old, you get to see those that came from a not too bad family. Those that parents still give them pocket money and those that still steal their brother's money. Let's hear from
I feel like for some, to my 12-year-old or 2-year-old, make more money. And that takes me to this point, because really I feel like so many people are under so much pressure to make so much money because of the responsibility, not necessarily for themselves or because they need it or they really actually want to. By the time you look at it, that if I keep on earning 200k and I am sending 50 or 100 back, it's going to down me. Then you are looking at, you are doing 10 jobs or 5 jobs just so that you can meet. So that pressure, before you know it, you're aging, you're tired. So the advice is make more money, because the demands will always be there. It's not going.
Do you know
Yes, make money.
Jamila, to start making money, start selling pure water.
Make money. I don't know how you're going to.
Artificial
Yes.
pressure. Like I left home
to
take care of
who sent you come up from home?
Pressure now.
Yeah, so that's actually true, and I think that with the beautiful part of this conversation is, I will tell you that at every point in time, there's a stage in your life where you have to obviously take care of people. There's also time whereby you need to take care of yourself. And I feel like being on this podcast, for instance,
people have to also take care of you.
Exactly.
At some point.
No, being at this podcast, someone would now imagine that how would Vixie's sister be selling pure water in the market? Because they have put pressure on me that I have to be in a particular standard.
And then your family have to also meet up to that standard.
So that's actually an issue we see with the celebrities, right? Because you are here, they assume that your family are here.
How can we go to your family home and you're living in Ajegule or something?
You know when 𝐷𝐿 was saying that they wanted to set him up with some of the things, even what he has done, right? So all I can say in my own conclusion is, there's a time for you to do everything, right? There's a time for you to take care of yourself. You know, while you're trying to save the family, remember that you are not El Shaddai. And if you try to save people, you might die. You might drown. And the best way to actually save people
is to stay alive. You have to stay alive
before you do that. You know, and that brings us to the end of today's episode of our 𝐇𝐎𝐿 podcast. We've shared our 𝐇𝐿 and what we think about the issue called black tax. See you next week for another wonderful episode.
Peace out.